Hi. Uh, I can. What's a good pun we can go with Paradox? Uh, I don't want to be like Paradoobadoo.
Paradoobadoo.
Who are you?
Okay.
We've got an episode to do now.
That
Paradoobadoo.
was probably our lamest intro ever.
Yes.
Hey everyone, we're talking about Scoob.
Yes, we are. And who are we? I'm Steven, or known as Ninja, and that was my computer. And who is this person next to me?
The Ghost of Paradox.
Yes, it is not Chris. Wink to camera. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that, was I? Alright, well today we're talking about Scoob, the new Scooby-Doo movie that didn't come out in theaters, instead came out in our hearts and at home. So, yeah, it came out and we watched it. What did you think of the movie? Like, where would you like to start with the discussion, Paradox?
Where would I like to start? Well, let's start with probably the biggest complaint a lot of people had, which was the voice actors. I didn't think they were that bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Will Forte as Shaggy, it's not bad, but it's also... I can see the problem where it's like he isn't really the best Shaggy voice actor, but he does a good job.
You believe the nerve of that dude? Simon Cowell thinks friendship won't save the day. He's not that smart. Just sounds like it because he's British.
I enjoyed the performance.
I thought all of them did pretty well as the characters. It was weird to hear them like not voiced by the same people, but it wasn't as jarring throughout the whole movie as it was just hearing it a little bit in the trailer that we initially got.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't like the Powerpuff Girls, where it was kind of just like, yeah, no, that's definitely not them. Because like with Scooby-Doo running for 51 years, we've kind of gotten our fair share of voice actors. Granted, it's not a lot because they've been very consistent, but we've had switch-ups. Like, Billy West was Shaggy at one point.
Yeah.
And, like, so it's kind of just, like, it sucks that, like, they didn't even approach him. But it's also, like, I don't think they, like, massacred the character. It's not like it's going to be, like, oh,
yeah,
it feels like this, the movie would have been way different. It's like, it would have been pretty much the same.
Yeah. There are some parts that I'm not sure if the original voice actors could have really done with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't hear Shaggy's voice actor, like, at the part where, which, full spoilers if you hadn't guessed, by the way.
Spoiler alert.
The part where Scooby's admiring himself in the mirror with his costume, and Shaggy's sitting there, like, saying stuff under his breath.
Does this make my ears look big?
Makes your ego look big.
What did you say?
Your giant inflated head.
Say what?
This is just me, but I don't know if the main Shaggy voice actor would have done that quite as well. Or, like, in the case of Fred entirely, like, I don't know if they could have really done it with the way Fred looks, because that would have been like that doesn't look like our Fred, but it sounds like our Fred, and this is some weird kind of cognitive dissonance here.
Now, follow me to victory!
Yeah. And definitely. Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it did feel kind of like it was like, they cast these people, then they started making the movie. Like, they had some people in mind while, like, doing all this, like you said.
Which,
I mean...
Well, on the topic of... Oh, sorry. Well, on the topic of Fred, I was when I watched the credits and it said he was voiced by Zac Efron, I was kind of surprised because it didn't sound like him to me.
I didn't hear anything different, but that's also probably because like I went into it being like, yeah, no, that's Barbie, man. That's not Fred. So kind of I was just like,
Discount Hemsworth.
Zac Efron. Yeah.
Poor man's Hemsworth stays with me. How dare you? Wait, Chris or Liam?
Oh, that would have been
Wait,
good if you
Liam
got
or
Chris? Yeah.
It's
I
really
guess let's
weird.
move on to like.
Oh no, I just have one more thing to say. It's like
Okay,
it's really weird
go
about
ahead.
him being played by Zac Efron because literally the other day I just had a random thought like, has Zac Efron ever been in anything recently? Because like last thing I could remember him being in that I knew about was like what was it? A movie where he was playing this guy who was I think it was 17 again or whatever was the title of the movie. There's like this dad, and all of a sudden, like he wakes up the next morning and he's Zac Efron, and he's a high schooler.
I know that he was in Baywatch in 2017, so 3 years ago, and probably some other stuff. Wasn't he Ted? What is it? Ted Bundy, right?
I have no idea. I
don't
barely acknowledged Baywatch's existence.
So, what do you think about the whole, like, I guess let's just go with, like, the writing of the movie?
I thought the writing was interesting. Like,
Yeah.
there were some parts where it's like, yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of, like, convenient. Like how Velma was able to like figure out who Dick Dastardly was, I guess just by like taking his hair, figuring out what was on it, and then putting it into a computer, and it like, the police apparently have a database and all this stuff. Also, the police code thing was really like, I get it was for a joke, it was good for a laugh, but at the same time it's like, really?
We have a 415 in progress at the Takamoto Bowl. Tiny, violent, shape-shifting robots chasing a man and a dog in a bowling alley, linen store, or car wash. Wow, the police really do have a code for everything.
Yeah.
Wow, they
there's
really
a lot
do
of
have a
things.
code for everything.
It was, yeah, that reminds me of the joke at the very beginning where it's like, well, if the dog has a middle name, I guess he's not a stray. And it's just
Well,
like,
no, you said if the dog's got a middle name, he's not held accountable for any damages or theft or something like that. And it's like, wait, what?
If the dog has a middle name, that is no punishment for damages or theft. I don't like it, but them's the laws. Well, have a good day, sir. Mr. Doobie-Doo.
it's just like those.
That's a little more believable though, because like if you look into if you really look into it, there are a lot of really dumb laws that just are not enforced. Like in Maine, it's illegal specifically. It is specifically illegal to push a moose out of a moving plane. Or less hilariously, to have Christmas decorations up after January 14th.
That's illegal?
Apparently, but nobody enforces it. Just like imagine January 15th. What is it? This is the police! Open up! What can I do for you, officer? You haven't taken your Christmas lights down. I mean, I haven't had a chance. Do you know what today is? Friday? It's January 15th!
Get down!
You're gonna face a lot of fines for this!
Oh, yes. Though I do think like the oddly specific jokes like are hit or miss, but for me, I love that type of just very like specific humor.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so like I enjoyed a lot of it, but I can definitely see that like relying on that only is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and, like this movie felt like it kind of only had like two types of jokes where it was just like, three types actually, where it's like your standard stuff, where it's just like old, where it's just like, yeah, no, that's what I would expect from like an animated movie, you know. But it's also like you had like the stuff that felt more like classic Scooby-Doo and Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
And then it's just self-referential and just kind of making fun of themselves, being like
Middle Earth,
being like,
copyright infringement.
So what do you say we get out of Middle Earth?
Copyright infringement.
yeah, or like the sound like some old middle-aged dude was writing what a hippie teenager would sound like.
Well, I think that specifically said a 54-year-old.
A gangly dude that had this habit of using the word like at the start of every sentence. Almost as if he was some middle-aged man's idea of how a teenage hippie talks.
Really, 54-year-old?
Said it, saying like at the beginning of every sentence, almost
Nope.
like
Yeah.
a 54-year-old's idea of what a hippie would sound like.
Yeah, and like a lot of the jokes I really enjoyed, but it's also kind of like they fit into those categories, and it's kind of just like boiling down to being like, if you don't like those, you're not gonna like the movie, you know. You can do that with anything. I felt Scoob kind of had that, where it's just like one of three.
Yeah.
Though I do gotta say, like, I think it did a good job with actual character interaction, like with when it came to jokes, and like the whole rule of threes was really set up, especially with stuff like the Netflix joke, where it's just like he stole his mother's Netflix account. He's stealing Netflix while we all have to pay for our own. You guys pay for Netflix?
You have
like
to
that
pay
was
for
really
Netflix?
And apparently he's been stealing Netflix by using his mother's account.
That is not fair for the rest of us who have to pay for Netflix.
You have to pay for Netflix?
Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something, I can't think of it. What was it?
I thought it was really well done and everything. And
Oh,
I think
I just remembered.
Oh, go ahead.
So, probably the one bit of writing I thought was kind of off was, going back to Fred, he seemed kind of flanderized.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. Yeah.
Fred's never been, like, the brains of the operation, but, like, he's just kind of dumb in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, well, Fred's always been kind of the one who's been, like, who devised all the traps and everything, right? Like,
Which,
he
takes some level of intelligence.
yeah, like, he has a practical level of skills, and it's just, like, that one, they never even said, alright, gang, let's split up and blank. And, like, they didn't create any traps or anything, and I was just like, man, this is sad. I like that.
Hashtag not my Fred Jones.
Yeah. But it also kind of felt away with kind of like Daphne and Velma, like, not to the same extent, but they were kind of also pushed to the side, you know?
Yeah,
So it was just
and
like,
this was really like a Scooby and Shaggy movie. It wasn't so much a Scooby-Doo and the Gang movie.
yeah, it was closer to being a Blue Falcon movie than it is a Mr. Ink movie.
I mean, like, that's another thing. It's like, with all of the stuff they put in, it's like, is it a wacky racers movie because it's got Dick Dastardly? Is it Captain Caveman because Captain Caveman's there for, like, what, 2 minutes? Blue Falcon's there for, like, most of the movie. Like, it's cool that they went a little fan servicey with that sort of thing, but at the same time, it's like, it seems kind of contrived. I think that's the right word. Like, Captain Caveman really didn't have any reason to be there, other than for, like, that one scene.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to do what every hip, cool movie is trying to do, and be a, cinematic universe.
Speaking of, being hip, the Blue Falcon dab.
Welcome to the Falcon Fury!
Oh, God. It was so awkward, the dab. It was... I don't know what...
What was it?
that
Was it Keith, the guy who forgot the cue for the balloons?
Yeah, I think so.
Hang on. Turn on the lights. Where are my balloons, Dee Dee? When I say Falcon Fury, that's supposed to cue the balloons. Keith, what is the deal up there, man?
I missed the cue.
Duh. You've got one job, pal.
Speaking of that scene, the music playing that was an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I
I
think this is a good segue into talking about just the fact that I really like what they did with the Blue Falcon, specifically with this relationship with like Dynamite.
Yeah.
Because like I thought that was like really interesting to kind of just be like, oh, okay, this is just someone who's like pathetic, paired with a dog who is just like done with everything. Now, is it original? No, we've seen stuff like that. New hero who's incompetent, paired up with old hero who doesn't want to deal with that type of stuff, you know. So they both learn and grow.
That was Ryan Reynolds, wasn't it?
No.
That wasn't? It sounded like Ryan Reynolds to me.
Yeah.
For it was, Blue Falcon.
That was Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, it wasn't absolutely original, but I thought it was really like good, and I thought it really added some level of comedy to the film, and it gave the film a bit of heart with like kind of seeing this one character grow who's supposed to be perfect, and then they make him a DJ, and I'm kind of just like, that kind of feels like to me that it defeats the purpose of kind of him being like, I can be a hero in my own way by being a DJ. And it's like, I mean, whatever with you, but that feels very forced, like you're trying to relate to the kids.
I got a DM from one of my fans who gave me the location.
Ryan, those are a lot of words no one your age should be using.
Yeah.
Besides, who even wants to be a DJ nowadays? God. It's all in SoundCloud rapping. But I really did enjoy the movie. I thought it was very, like, pleasant and funny. Like, it definitely feels like a Scooby-Doo movie, and it did its job. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The best part about the movie for me is the whole entire just intro. How they did the Scooby-Doo intro in 3D.
Did what?
The intro, how they recreated the
the
Scooby-Doo
opening theme and such.
Yeah. Thought that was really nice, and that was probably just like, yes, this is awesome.
There were some parts that I wish they would have done differently, like the part where Scooby and Shaggy are like, they crash into a bunch of trash cans. I always remembered the one where like Shaggy's crashes into a shower. It's just, I expected that, and when I saw the trash cans, I'm like, oh, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Which is a weird nitpick to make, but that's nostalgia for you.
They didn't make the right reference.
Speaking of that, though, I might have missed it on my watch through, because I've only seen it once, and it was late when I saw it. But I noticed a distinct lack of, like, original music for this movie. Like, there didn't seem to be a whole lot for an original score to me. Again, I could have just missed it during the majority of the movie, but a lot of it was, like, just licensed music, which can be used well, like, in the case of Spider-Verse or in Shrek and other movies that do it well. Not Suicide Squad, but...
Wait, Spider-Verse was original. That was all music created specifically for Spider-Verse.
That's not what that means, though.
It's not?
No, an original score is like, it's made for the movie, but it's not... Okay, so the difference is, like, licensed music is, like, going back to what I said about Shrek, All-Star in the opening. That was a song made and used in the movie that was made by an artist. wasn't, even if it was made for the movie, like in the case of Sunflower by Post Malone, that's still licensed music because that wasn't made by the composing team for Spider-Verse. Like, there's a difference between What's Up Danger and Miles' theme that you hear throughout the movie.
Oh, okay.
For a better understanding of that,
I did not know that. Thank you.
For the viewers, I would suggest checking out a channel called Sideways. It's one of my favorite channels. He does musical analysis for all of the movies I've mentioned: Shrek, Spider-Verse, and well, not Suicide Squad, but he does reference another guy who's done a good video on Suicide Squad. So if you check out either of those, you'll definitely hear him talk about that and find out what that video is, because I can't remember who did that. It's just like, the use of popular music and licensed music can work. It does in this movie for certain moments, but at the same time, it's like, there are some moments where it feels like it could have been better to just have like an original piece of music for it. Yeah. I will once again say I may have just missed it. I've only seen it once, and I finished at like almost 1 a.m. last night. Get off my back.
I do agree. I feel like I Don't Give a Damn About My Reputation should have been playing during the ending fight scene. Because it just feels like the movie that would do that. Speaking of that, though, I find it interesting, like, where Velma said, like, all hell's gonna break loose. Literally. Like, that shocked me for a Scooby-Doo movie. Yeah. Well, it's not on the like same layer of Mordecai saying pisses me off on Cartoon Network.
I don't think I saw that episode.
It's a hot dog episode. I'll send you a link to the clip after the show.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's like a lot of things like that I'm surprised they got away with. Like the Dick Dastardly and Scooby-Doo, just like that confrontation about Dick's name. It's like, how can you say that? How can you get away with this, like, within good reason?
I mean, it is his name, though.
It is, but it's also kind of like, it's Dick. And it's just like, kids can say that. Like, kids are gonna say that scene. They're gonna go out of this being like,
just walking down the street, hear some kid going, Dick.
Yeah. I did really like how it was like, Rick.
I'm not a Rick. I'm a Dick. I can't even say it.
It's just... it's, oh god. I'm surprised they did that, but like, it was really funny.
It was funny. It's just like, is this bad? Because it is his name.
Like, I understand how they got around the censors, but like, I don't know if that's the right thing. I don't know. God.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard him referred to as Richard Dick Dastardly. So,
on the topic of Dick Dastardly, I gotta say, I love like what they did with Muttley and that whole character, like the relation between those two, because like it was just so like believable and like felt like my Dick Dastardly that I grew up with on Boomerang. Where it's just like
the whole like conniving and kind of friendship, but also like they're jerks to each other.
Yeah, like the moment at the end where it's just like, ah, you pretended to be dead and I was showing pure emotion. I hate you. Oh, I can't stay mad at you. And then like they did a hug.
Like, you mentioned
and it did like,
oh, go ahead.
The flashback scene that happened where it's just like, I tried to stop him from going in. Come on, go in. Hurry up. It's just like, yes, that's excellent. I love that.
When you said the end, it just made me think of like when they unmasked him and it was Simon Cowell and then pulled off the other mask. He's like, direct! No one ever goes for the double demasking.
Time to pay for your crimes, Dick Dastardly.
Or is it?
Simon Cowell? Wow, that is a solid impersonation.
Thank you.
I also played Rum Tum Tugger in my secondary school's production of Cats.
This makes no sense. How could he have time to judge the world's greatest talent shows and build a giant airship?
Dastardly? Drat! No one ever goes for the double unmasking.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the like there was a lot of good Easter eggs and background like stuff. And I was just like this
Messick
is
Mountain.
cool. I like this. Yeah, Messick Mountain, or whenever Shaggy first appears, it's like Casey's Coastal or something. I don't remember the specific thing, but it was Casey. That's reference to Casey Chasm, and I was like, yes, I get that one.
Or how about
Like,
the fact
Hong
that
Kong Phooey
it
at one
literally
point.
starts out with Scooby in some Greek restaurant?
Oh yeah, called Alexander's Great Euros.
Gyros.
Gyros, which is good foreshadowing to the fact that Alexander the Great's dog. You'll
Yeah.
understand if you've seen the movie. That sounds really weird out of context. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the movie. Like, I thought it was very
enjoyable,
pleasant
yeah.
So, final thoughts?
Y'all need to stop hating on movies just because they're new. I mean, yeah, it's a recycled idea. It's Scooby-Doo all over again, but it's a pretty fair movie.
Yeah, I don't get how people don't like this. It's like it's not high class like Megamind, right? But not everything needs to be on the same level as Megamind.
It's not big brain like Megamind.
Yeah, it does not have the Megas mind. But it's just like it works, and it's just something where it's like I enjoyed watching this to the point where I am willing to watch this again. Like it's like, yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with like being like, yeah, I've seen this movie and I'm willing to be like, hey, you should probably watch this movie. It's a good movie to like just put on and relax to.
This movie had a lot of moments where like I wanted to just pause and laugh because I didn't want to miss what was happening. Which
yeah, that was with me.
The mark of a good movie, when it's like you just need to take a second and be like, okay, that just happened.
Yeah. And it also was just, it's just good. Like, if you like Scooby-Doo, you're gonna love this movie. It's filled with fan service, and it's like, hey, you can do that. You've earned the right to make a Scooby-Doo fan service movie, because Scooby-Doo's about to be 51 years old this year. So, do that.
So, do we have a final rating for this movie, I guess?
Well, as an independent filmmaker, I understand film as high art. I understand that film is beautiful. So I have to give this movie around a 7 out of 10. It just lacks in some departments. The cinematography was weak. If I had my go at it.
Wait until that one
big
film buff who
studios.
actually cares comes to our comment section and is like, now you listen here, you little...
Yeah. Alright.
I'm gonna say probably about 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah. It's just enjoyable, and I really liked it. Like, that's just good. So I guess this is the end of the podcast.
Indeed it is.
Alrighty, well, I was Steven.
I was Paradox.
Who, make sure you follow me on Twitter. This time it's a new @ because I was an idiot 5 years ago. It's at Steven of the Spears on Twitter, all just one word. And
also,
make sure you... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you can also check me out at ParadoxMM_ on Twitter.
Yep. Make sure you subscribe to both of our YouTube channels. Go subscribe to the Gamespherecast channel. Like, comment, subscribe again. Please, we need more subscribers.
Did you plug the channel
if you
Twitter already?
Oh yeah, the channel.
At Gcast.
Yep. Because I was an idiot 2 years ago, too. With that...
I'm a periodical idiot.
Yep. With that, make sure you do all the stuff we said. And stay epic. We don't have Chris to sing.